and welcome to Sarah's Stampery Treat. Today we're going to be making 2-in-1 cards. So we're going to do one set of colouring and split it across 2 cards. And we're going to be using this New Garden Delights layering stamp set, which is this one. It can layer up to make this, to make this, to make this and to make this. But we're only going to use the outlines today. You can see mine's very well loved. And we're going to be using this new Mystic Garden alcohol marker set. You'll know if you've seen a lot of my videos that I love these markers, and these are the new colours that are just out. So I've got a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm going to grab a bit of scrap paper to stamp on because I want to stamp over the edges, and then I'm going to use my New jet black ink. I'm just going to make a pattern across the paper with the outline stamps from the set. Now I'm going to use my markers to colour it. And obviously this is a layering stamp set. You could decide to just use the layering stamps to colour it, but I want to choose these markers today. So I'm laying down the lightest colour first, and then I'm going to add some detail with the darker colours. And you can actually use this as a guide if you want to colour layering stamps with your pens. You can actually use it as a guide as to where to put your shade in. And it's a nice way to practice your colouring. And then I'm going to go back over the whole thing with the lightest colour, just to kind of blend it a little bit more. Then I'm going to add a red centre. So then you can see there's my coloured piece. You can see how bold and lovely those colours are. So then I want to cut this diagonally, so I'm going to measure on the top 5 centimetres from this end, and then 1 centimetre from this end. And on the bottom I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to measure 1 centimetre from this end and then 5 centimetres from this end. So then I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I'm just going to line up 1 centimetre mark here and the 5 centimetre mark here. And I'm going to cut between them. Then I'm going to do the same on this side. So then I've got these 3 panels. I'm going to use these 2 for one card and this one for the other card. So then I've got this piece of navy cardstock, and it's the same height as this, so it's 4 1/4 inches high, and I want it to frame all of these pieces. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5 centimetres from this side, and then I'm going to cut it at 1.5 centimetres from this side. So let's cut that piece off first. And then you'll see that that just fits nicely there. And then this piece is 8 centimetres. So I'm going to just measure 8.5 centimetres from each of these points. So that's 8.5 centimetres from there. And I measure 8.5 centimetres from here. And then I can join up those 2 points. So then that piece frames that one nicely. And then we just want to do the other end. So we want it to be 5.5 centimetres on this end. And then we can just like that. And then that fits on there. So then you could do this next step with the coordinating dies if you wanted to. But I'm just going to snip around them because I think it's not going to take that long to cut them out anyway. So I'm just going to cut around all these pieces on here. And then as I go, I can just place the remain of this on here. And then I can use that as a template, just to put this on here. And each time I'm just putting the template back, and then I can put this in the right place. So there's our first panel done. So now I've got my 3 panels, and I'm going to use 1 on one card and 2 on the other. So I'll start off with the double panel one, and I've cut a strip of the navy cardstock 6 centimetres wide, and I'm going to position these on here, and then I want to glue this diagonally there so that it's evenly between the two panels. So I'll glue all the panels on. And I'm going to glue this panel down the middle. I'm actually going to put the glue on here because I'll need to cut some off top and bottom. Now I can just trim the excess off this side. So then I've got this happy birthday stamp, and that comes from this birthday greeting set from Old To Do, which has loads of different birthdays in the balloon. And I'm going to heat emboss that in white. And then I've got my white embossing powder. This is the Old To Do Pure White. Then once it's melted, we get this lovely greeting. And then I'm going to use this happy birthday from the same set. You can see it's very well used. To heat emboss a sentiment on a spare piece of navy cardstock. And again, I'm just embossing it with the white embossing powder. And then I'm going to use this side of this just to cut the edge off my sentiment, because I want it to be cut at the same angle as the panel. And then I'm going to glue the panel on here. You can see I made a bit of a mistake here where I just mistakenly put some green onto here. And when I'm putting my sentiments on, if I've made mistakes, I often position them to cover those mistakes. So I'm going to position that over there so you won't even know. So then I'm going to glue that across there. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue behind here and some dimensionals behind here. So then I've split that one lovely coloured panel into two really gorgeous cards. I'd love to know which is your favourite, so let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below. You can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I've got a new video available. All of the supplies that I've used for today's video are listed in the description below, and you can also find the link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.